Good afternoon, and thank you for taking the time to meet with us. Today, we want to present to you a unique opportunity to help protect the environment through a partnership with a nonprofit organization while also improving your public image and reputation around the globe. However, let me first give you some background information on the issue at hand. Every year, 18 billion pounds of plastic enter our Earth's oceans and contaminate the wildlife and their surrounding habitats. The technology industry in the U.S. alone is responsible for throwing out about $60 million worth of electronics every year, leaving them to rot in our oceans and in our landfills. As you can see, big technology corporations in today's society make decisions that impact millions, if not billions, of people around the globe every day, as well as impact nature and society on larger scales. In an effort to minimize this pollution and protect our oceans, the United Nations has set certain goals and standards to reduce the amount of human waste that enters our waters. As per the UN, their goal for ocean pollution can be summarized as the following: advancing the sustainable use and conservation of the oceans continues to require effective strategies to combat the adverse effects of worsening coastal eutrophication. What this goal means to us, as investors and consumers of Best Buy, is that we all must make a valiant effort to save our oceans before they no longer exist in the way we know and love them today. We will openly acknowledge, however, that ocean pollution is a large issue that cannot be solved by one small group of people, which is why we would like to enlist your help in protecting our Earth. We desire to innovate to provide the highest value to all stakeholders of Best Buy by creating stakeholder alliances and seizing tomorrow's opportunities today in order to ensure a positive growth trajectory for the company. By achieving this goal, company profits are expected to increase and customer engagement of Best Buy to rise as well. We also recognize that Best Buy currently has several environmental impact campaigns in place. Whether it is providing a disposal program where customers can turn in tech appliances or electronics for recycling, or redesigning packaging for in-house products to become more environmentally friendly, Best Buy has clearly made an effort to become more sustainable. However, we believe that you may be able to do more. We want to encourage you to fulfill your greatest potential in terms of becoming a fully sustainable company that cares deeply for our oceans. Through an extensive analysis of the stakeholders of Best Buy in this presentation, we'll explain to you our plan to decrease ocean pollution through a partnership between the consumers and investors of Best Buy and a non-governmental organization called Parley for the Oceans. Since business plays arguably the largest role in the world's economy and operation, we believe that by banding together, we can make a real change. Getting businesses like you on board with the idea of saving our oceans will therefore enable us to have the operating power to take effective action on this issue and improve your sustainable value chain. I'll now hand it off to Sanjna to discuss which stakeholders we will target with this campaign.
Let's take a look at the people and organizations that have a stake in Best Buy's operations, as they ultimately have an impact on the health of the ocean. Stakeholders, those who affect or are affected by a company's decisions and policies, are essential to understand because their demands directly impact the company. By understanding internal and external points of view, we can help you design an initiative for ocean sustainability development that caters to the needs of as many of these stakeholder groups as possible. Consumers are the individuals who keep Best Buy up and running. They hold a lot of economic power because Best Buy's profits are determined by sales, and without these sales, the company goes out of business. Best Buy's consumers are relatively salient and particularly legitimate compared to other stakeholders for this reason. Since consumers have the ability to boycott products or businesses entirely, Best Buy must appeal to consumer interests through company-wide operations. Investors provide funding for Best Buy as it is a public company. For this reason, investors have economic power. Without their support, the company would have less money available for their operations. This type of economic power gives them financial leverage over the board, giving them legitimacy which they can use to influence support for proposed initiatives. They are relatively more salient than many of the other stakeholders because they would ultimately be affected by any actions that are implemented. Competitors also have economic power as stakeholders in Best Buy. They act based on decisions made by other companies in order to differentiate themselves as a firm, and other businesses do the same, making them moderately salient stakeholders. These competitors, like Walmart and Amazon, don't necessarily have much legitimacy because they are not directly advocating for a change to be implemented within Best Buy's operations. Best Buy suppliers are also stakeholders with economic power, as they can halt or refuse to fill orders and therefore stop the company's operations. Suppliers are the providers of products and services used to create the final innovative products for consumers, which gives them a relatively moderate amount of legitimacy. Their main interests lie in maximizing profits and maintaining long-term partnerships with businesses. Elected officials that sit on the board have the ability to implement policy within a business, giving them voting power. Relative to other stakeholders, they are less salient since they are not the people actively seeking innovation or change of some form, unlike consumers or investors. NGOs are stakeholders with political power because they can use publicity or legal means to advocate for certain causes, and in this case, anti-pollution efforts. Though they have relatively high urgency regarding pollution resolving goals in general, they currently have minimal saliency as stakeholders in Best Buy itself. Best Buy claims to maintain relationship with NGOs in order to advance progress in focus areas, but the company does not currently work closely enough with any for them to be legitimate stakeholders individually. Finally, employees are stakeholders in Best Buy with the economic power to refuse work under undesirable conditions, therefore interrupting the company's operations. They are a relatively less urgent stakeholder group because corporate innovations are not their primary area of interest. Instead, employees prioritize steady income and fair working conditions.
While investors purely seek economic gain, some consumers look for both low prices and environmentally friendly policies. These seemingly opposing interests can both be satisfied through an effective eco-friendly campaign, creating sustainable value through a more appealing brand for both investors and consumers, because contrary to popular belief, sustainability and profitability are not mutually exclusive. We believe an environmental initiative to reduce ocean pollution can capitalize on our common interest and foster an advantageous relationship between both consumers and investors. With the oversight of environmental advocacy firms, technology manufacturers, and large consumer electronic firms such as yourselves can create and implement innovative strategies to reduce pollution, avoiding the sacrifice of consumer and investor interests while instead creating value for both stakeholder groups. For example, companies can bolster their reputation through acting with the environment in mind, making them more attractive for potential consumers, while in turn providing incentive for potential investors. In addition, a successful environmentally friendly proposal can cut costs for both the firm and its consumers, leading to increased profit margins for investors and the ability for Best Buy to reinvest capital into similar campaigns.
Now for our call to action. As recognized through your various awards and recognitions, Energy Star Partner of the Year Award for Sustained Excellence, #2 on Newsweek's Green Rankings list for U.S. retailers, and EPA Excellence in Greenhouse Gas Management, just to name a few, Best Buy clearly has made successful efforts regarding sustainable development. As we as investors and consumers concerned about ocean pollution, think the next logical steps for Best Buy to take in this development are related to reducing plastic in both product packaging and checkout line bags. Parlay, a nonprofit organization, has previously partnered with companies including Adidas and Corona in order to make their brands more sustainable. Adidas and Parlay partnered beginning last year, selling over 1 million pairs of shoes made from recycled plastic. Adidas is now introducing a line of recycled clothing as part of a long-term sustainability program. Corona and Parlay launched the creative fundraising platform Clean Waves to fight against marine plastic pollution and boost the use of eco-innovative materials. The proceeds from each pair of sunglasses created by this partnership, made entirely of upcycled marine plastic debris, went toward the efforts to protect islands from pollution. Each of these partnerships accomplished tangible progress eliminating ocean pollution regardless of the scale. Following these individual projects, the companies have begun to implement Parlay's AIR strategy to their future sustainability operations: avoid, intercept, and redesign. Avoid plastic wherever possible, intercept plastic waste, and redesign the material itself. By being mindful of materials and better ways to use them, Best Buy can use a collaboration with Parlay for the Oceans to change the narrative that mass retailers follow. What we propose is that a partnership between Best Buy and Parlay for the Oceans in the best interest of young consumers concerned about ocean pollution as well as investors. Within this partnership, Parlay will design a line of phone accessories exclusively sold at Best Buy and help you implement their AIR strategy to further develop your sustainability efforts. This accessory line would consist of cell phone, laptop, and tablet accessories made entirely of upcycled, repurposed plastic previously disposed in the ocean, an effort within the redesign portion of the strategy. Proceeds may be directed toward ocean waste cleanup project or even to further develop your own device disposal program and make it more accessible to consumers. Intercept. And finally, to help you avoid further contribution to this type of pollution, we recommend that you eliminate the use of single-use plastic bags in the checkout lines of your locations, replacing them with a paper alternative or reusable bags. Though plastic still composes a large part of the products you sell, this switch makes efforts to eliminate extra plastic from your supply chain immediately, and therefore reduce the amount of plastic waste that can enter the ocean to further pollute it.
A partnership between Parlay and Best Buy would be socially impactful and financially beneficial for all the parties involved. Through this initiative, we will directly decrease our contribution to the amount of new plastic entering the ocean and also take steps towards preventing the future use of plastic in Best Buy packaging using Parlay's revolutionary plastic repurposing techniques. Consumers will know that when they purchase products from the Parlay and Best Buy collaborative line, They are directly supporting sustainability efforts focused on reducing ocean pollution. Additionally, by choosing to shop at Best Buy, they will know that they are endorsing a company that is committed to environmental sustainability. The Parlay partnership will draw interest in Best Buy from within the demographic group of younger consumers who are concerned about development efforts against pollution, resulting in increased sales for Best Buy from an expanded consumer base. As this growth may lead to increased profits, our proposed initiative will also benefit investors, as the continued capital growth of Best Buy is a primary interest for the salient stakeholder group. Best Buy's development of sustainability focused efforts today will make it stand out from competitors in the eyes of environmentally conscious consumers. Reaching this new growing consumer segment will intuitively make Best Buy more sustainable, as it will expand the company's potential breadth for conducting business. Best Buy's commitment to the innovation and sustainable packaging will create a stronger company, a positive aspect for Best Buy and its investors. This partnership also makes sense for Parlay, as it increases its exposure and impact through the implementation of its air strategy into the tech retail industry, as opposed to its previous partners based in fashion. Overall, this exciting initiative will help Best Buy increase its commitment to environmental sustainability in a way that will prepare the company for the future, and that creates immediate solutions to help fight the problem of plastic pollution in oceans. We hope that you will consider this initiative not just for the financial impacts, but for the preservation of our oceans, without which humanity cannot survive. Thank you for listening.